everyone, the filming of the movie that will change the whole history of cinema has begun. The movie that will inaugurate the cinema era 3.0, the true fourth pillar of DC. Of course, I'm talking about Clayface, a step aside, Harley Quinn. Clayface is the new fourth pillar of DC. Just kidding, folks. But we finally have the first images from the film being shot in Liverpool, England. Let's pass the line to these leaked photos from the filming set because there's a lot happening. There are also several Easter eggs in the scenery that I think are worth commenting on a bit. But that's not all, because we have news involving lanterns, a photo of the set leaked, which seems to show them filming an interrogation scene with our dear Jon Stewart, played by actor Aaron Pierre. Besides all that, we'll also talk a bit about the success of the Superman film, as it has now made $610 million worldwide, and it generated a certain buzz. All right, folks, there's a lot for us to discuss in today's video, but before we start, don't forget to click the like button, comment below, and subscribe for more content like this. Also, follow our other social media, Instagram and Threads, where I'll keep you updated about this universe we love. Okay, let's talk about the Clayface movie. Filming started last weekend, and since they're shooting in a big city like Liverpool, right in the street, obviously images from the filming leak, and the main image that leaked is this one of our protagonist, Matt Hagen, with his face all disfigured and hurt. There's another scene where you can see them taking Matt Hagen out of an ambulance and bringing him into the hospital. The first point of all this is that this Clayface is Matt Hagen. This info comes from the insider Apocalyptic Horseman. He has leaked so much, got it right so many times, and I find it hard to believe he's wrong about Matt Hagen. Now, it's curious that this whole part of taking Matt Hagen to the hospital, him appearing with this disfigured face, reminds me a bit of the origin of Basil Karlo in Detective Comics from Rebirth. In the comic, Basil Karlo is taken to the hospital after a car accident, and it's because of this accident that he starts using the Renew product since his face was all disfigured. He's a movie star, he has to look good. After he runs out of this product, he tries to find a way to get more. After being exposed to more product, he transforms into Clayface. But the detail is really how his makeup here is very similar to what happens in this comic, like really similar. It could just be a mere coincidence. It could be a reference because this image is quite known. It circulates all the time and might even mean that this story of the movie will be inspired by Batman animated series. I think this new leak changed our perspective on Matt Hagen's story from the animated series, because the screenwriter had mentioned the episode, but maybe they're combining various versions of Clayface's origin to create this origin. There's also this other scene where we see a guy who apparently is Clayface leaving a building. He's all wrapped up in a jacket and you can't see his face properly. This outfit is similar to what's in the comic itself when he leaves the hospital and goes to his deceased father's house. Both this origin of Clayface in the Rebirth comic and the origin from the animated series talk about more or less the same things, just told in a different way. But the central theme is about a very handsome actor who is transformed into a monster. So it stays in both, and it's a sure thing that we'll see this in the movie. Well, the actor they chose to be Matt Hagen is very handsome, and when this guy gets his face all disfigured, it'll be a big emotional shock for him. The story should address that, the man who becomes a monster. Just like the other stories of the Clayface, the point now is knowing how much it'll be based on the animated series. And to take some visual references from Rebirth, which I actually believe, there's this other image here where we see a guy and a woman, and it seems like they are giving an interview. According to the Apocalyptic Horseman, the man there is Matt Hagen's agent. The insider doesn't know what the woman's role is, but says she might also be an agent. One way or another, this leaked scene in this universe shows that Matt Hagen is already a known person or already a known actor. There are many people around, right? Because the scene itself has a certain commotion due to the accident that happened. Well, besides that, we have some Easter eggs scattered in the set design. The first thing we have is this newspaper from the Gotham Gazette, right? That shows the character Jimmy Red McCoy, which I even had to research from the golden age of a Batman. Man, they really dug deep to get that reference. We also have an ad for Jitter's Coffee, which is a very well-known coffee shop in the DC universe. Now, the most important thing is that it's the same logo we see in the Peacemaker series and in the Superman movie for those who like these universe connections. So we already have a connection to a universe with the same logo and everything. And there's also this image here. with graffiti on the street saying "The Jokers." Note that the word is in plural. And then people started speculating that maybe this could be some hint of a Joker gang. And look, I think that doesn't mean anything for the lore of the universe. To me, it's just an Easter egg for that Joker gang that appears in the Batman Beyond animation. Now, what does that mean? That there's a gang of Jokers who dress like Joker? I don't think so. I think it's just a reference. Now, talking a bit about the movie, obviously I'm joking here when I say, right, that Clayface is the fourth pillar, because the truth is I liked those first images. I liked Matt Hagen's makeup. But the truth is I'm not very excited for this movie. I want it to be good. Don't get me wrong, okay? Obviously, I want it to be good and I want the movie to do well. But getting excited just because I'm seeing Matt Hagen in a leaked photo from Liverpool, and he's not even in his monster form yet, I'm not getting excited. Unfortunately, that's not happening. But it looks cool, yeah. Especially because it reminds me of Basil Karlo from the Rebirth comics. Let's be serious. The look better be way better than this. I think he has this look because it's after the accident. It could be from a car accident or something that makes him go through this. Probably before he takes the Renew. I'm almost certain of that. Obviously, I don't want him to be in monster form in this scene. But I hope this Clayface movie isn't the type that takes like an hour and a half until he gets the Clayface look. Like Craven, who only at the very end shows up in the fur jacket. I think that's really dumb. I really hope it doesn't take more than an hour for him to become Clayface. I'm curious to see Gotham. I liked these sets they're filming. There are many Gothic buildings that fit Gotham perfectly. For me, that's great. It's really cool. I'm excited to see that. There are some people worried about this Clayface because in Creature Commandos, which theoretically takes place after Clayface, right, who dies in that story, and I say in quotes if he really died, because we don't know if he actually died, and I understand those who are a bit worried, right? Seeing the origin of a villain who, in quotes, has already died, but it might not even be the same person because that Clayface, it was never said what his name was. We don't know if it's Basil Karlo or if it's Matt Hagen himself. It's totally possible this universe has two, just like in the comics. So just because there's a Clayface in Creature Commandos doesn't mean it's the same one we'll have in the Clayface movie. It's totally possible they're two different characters, and the one in Creature could really be Basil Karlo, and the one in the movie could be Matt Hagen. James Gunn will probably comment on this at some point in the future. But hey, it's great that the filming is happening. There's no big stress. An absolutely calm schedule for this movie. We hope the result is good. Let's move on now to the next topic, which is about the Lanterns series. Recently, a photo leaked from the set of Lanterns, which basically looks like Jon Stewart is handcuffed and being interrogated by this sheriff, whom I believe is Sheriff Carey, played by actress Kelly MacDonald. I found it curious that few people talked about this image, maybe because they haven't seen it or didn't know. But I wanted to comment on this image because I think it's important to highlight how significant this scene is. First, we can obviously see that Jon Stewart is being interrogated. But the most interesting part is that he also seems to be handcuffed. I wonder, will Jon Stewart somehow be accused of a crime? A few months ago, there were images of him fleeing from a shootout. And interestingly, he was wearing a prisoner's outfit. And now this is just my theory, but I think it makes a lot of sense, and I believe at some point in the series, Jon Stewart will be accused of a crime. This description I gave here suggests that this series will indeed be about investigation and police work, and they are really going to make a very down-to-earth series. That's something that makes me a bit disheartened, but the producers have confirmed that the series will have this more grounded approach, while at the same time including all those elements of the Green Lantern lore. So basically, this series remains a big mystery. Still, I'm very excited to see what will happen. All right, now let's talk about our last topic, which is about the box office of the Superman movie and whether the film is a success or not. Currently, the film has over $610 million in global box office, and it's projected to finish with over $620 million. I wanted to bring this information here because I saw some people online saying that this film was not a success. In fact, many people said that, even after Warner and James Gunn stated that they are satisfied with the film's success. Even major sites confirmed that the Superman movie was a success, both for the audience and critics. I imagine the people saying this film isn't a success must be Snyder fans. Because even if this film didn't reach $600 million, it would still be a success, especially in times like these with many bad films recently. I'm mainly talking about Marvel because I think Marvel has really tarnish the superhero brand, but there's also the issue of the DC brand being worn out, caused by the old DCEU. So the DC brand is still rising. It may take time to rise, but it may not, because it depends on whether they continue making excellent films, and the DC brand will rise significantly. This is just my opinion. I've never been too concerned about the box office numbers of this film. My concern was really about whether this film was good, and for me, it was very good, and I'm very satisfied with it. No wonder they just announced a sequel called Man of Tomorrow. I even made a video talking about the sequel to the Superman movie. Maybe I'll post the video today or tomorrow, who knows? But that's it, folks. These are the news for today. Please comment below about all this, and don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.